veteran-owned company. On Monday, January 4th at 8:35 a.m., I'll be in the studio of WOCA, where I hope to inform and help you with information on me and what my team does. So again, tune in on Monday, January 4th at 8:35 a.m. right here on The Source, WOCA. And please check out our website at jdog.com. Semper Fi.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday morning. People are starting to mill around the Paddock Mall food court entrance as the mall is, I don't know what time they open. I thought 10, but maybe 11. I don't know. We're coming to you live, though, from the palatial studios of WOCA Radio, just outside the food court entrance to the Paddock Mall in the Brick City Beautiful, Ocala, Florida. It is overcast right now in the Brick City Beautiful, but the temperature right now, according to the National Weather Service on weather.com, 63 degrees, warming to 77 as a high today. Be in the 80s tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Then back in the 60s with the lows in the 30s come Sunday. I don't know if you had any reason to be involved with jury trials coming up in January at the Ocala Courthouse, but if you have, they postponed some of them. Why? Surge in COVID-19 cases. Marion County's in the middle of a surge right now, according to the numbers. There's been 458 deaths in Marion County, 17,299 COVID cases. Those figures far outpace the surrounding counties of Alachua, Citrus, Lake, Levy, Putnam, and Sumter. So in an email sent to the Marion County Judicial Center officials, Circuit Court Judge Ed Scott, who serves the administrative judge for Marion County, said that the case has been getting worse, so I'm canceling jury trials. He met with the 5th Judicial Circuit's chief judge and his fellow administrative judges. The 5-member counties, Lake, Marion, Hernando, Citrus, and Sumter, only Citrus is under the threshold to have jury trial. Marion's daily positivity rate has been staying at about 12% for weeks now, the judge said. If it's over 10%, we can't proceed with jury trials. On December 22nd, Scott said Marion was at 12.1%. He doesn't see any changes for the foreseeable future. For that reason, jury trials scheduled to begin January 11th are canceled. He also said this is no hope for people that wanted to say, but what about later in the month? He goes, yeah, I'm not optimistic. It's not good, he wrote in an email. Judge said the court system is not doing away with jury trials. However, he did say if COVID-19 numbers do not improve, they may have no choice but to postpone all jury trials. So some jury trials have been postponed. The ones scheduled to begin January 11th have all been postponed. My question is, when does it start? When does the delay in jury trials start to impact someone's right to a speedy trial? When does COVID restrictions and judges canceling trials because of COVID, when does that begin to get in the way of the U.S. Constitution? Yet another thing that gets in the way of the U.S. Constitution. These questions have to be asked. Amendment 6, this is what it says. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusations, to be confronted with witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and have assistance for counsel in his defense. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. Amendment 6 of the U.S. Constitution. yet again, another moment where the U.S. Constitution is in direct contradiction with COVID shutdowns. Now, judges are canceling trials. Well, when does that violate a person's right to a speedy trial? Remember, say, yeah, but it's criminals. Hey, keep them in jail. No, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. That's something we seem to forget in this country. Everybody in a county jail awaiting trial for the charges they're being held on at that time are innocent until proven guilty. Just because they're in a situation where they're incarcerated does not mean incarceration does not mean guilt. And we forget that sometimes. They're afforded the right to a speedy trial, says so in the 6th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. It was one of the original 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. The rights of Americans. When does this COVID lockdown start infringing on those rights to the point where the rights start to outweigh the pandemic? I'm still waiting on that. Still waiting on it. Still waiting on it. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Yeah, usually the state's attorney's office will have your defendants sign a waiver of speedy trial, and usually there's a proffer of time served in the event of a prosecution. That's part of the deal.
Yes, but I understand that.
What with the COVID, the court is reluctant to have lots and lots of trials up at the courthouse. So when this thing finally breaks, going to be a lot of jury duty summonses in the mail.
Well, and I understand that, Jim, that you do sign away. Sometimes a defendant will sign the rights to a speedy trial away. But that is always under the guise that it won't be a speedy trial like in 40 days, but it won't be a trial that takes 8-10 years either.
Oh, yeah.
When does it start?
If they haven't had the defendant sign the waiver of speedy trial, there's some sort of action that the defendant's lawyer can take. But
when does too long usurp that affidavit that you signed saying you waived the right to a speedy trial? I don't want somebody sitting in there 2.5 years because COVID's kept trials from going for 2.5 years on a petty theft at Walmart.
At some point, someone's actually going to have to make a decision.
Right. Because, petty theft at Walmart, but I'm broke, so I can't make bail. And I sit for 2.5, 3 years because COVID has shut down the court system. When is too much too much? That's my question. Thanks for the call, Jim. That's my question. When is too much too much? And yes, I know it's a formality sometimes, the speedy trial thing, because courts are backed up. And so they have a system in place where the defendant will agree to waive his right to a speedy trial. I think that's horse manure as well, but that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion, but when does too much become too much? When does this COVID pandemic infringe upon our rights so much that the Constitution has to be the rule of law instead of the CDC or the WHO making the decisions on what should be taking place? I know I keep bringing up that pesky little thing called the Constitution. It's amazing how it just gets in the way of, everything that people want to do that they shouldn't be doing because it's against the Constitution. It just seems to me that with these canceling of trials and everything, postponing again, and some of these trials, that have been postponed until January 11th, were postponed all through 2020. So like I said, what if you have a petty theft charge and you just happen to be a person who can't afford bail money? Do you think it should be okay for somebody who's not been found guilty to have to sit well over a year in jail just because they can't afford to get out on a petty theft charge. Say they took say they were hungry and took a $5 pack of ham from the grocery store, and they got caught for it, went to jail. They hadn't been convicted yet, so they're still innocent until proven guilty technically. Take a year and a half of their life away because you can't have a trial because COVID? Somebody goes, Tom, nobody with a petty theft charge or stealing a $5 thing of ham goes to trial. You'd be surprised the people that go to the jury trial. Go spend, when COVID's over, go spend a day or two sitting in trials in the courthouse here. You'd be surprised at what you would deem as irrelevant charges that get all the way to a jury trial. That there's not a deal struck or something like that. It goes to a jury trial. You would be amazed. That's all I'm saying. When does COVID stop overriding the U.S. Constitution? I think it's a legitimate question that nobody's answered up to this point. Nobody has answered it up to this point. We'll take a break. Come back after this short timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for